Good morning children and welcome to the online teaching session. Students, as we all know that photosynthesis is an important process for all the living beings, plants as well as for animals, because plants prepare the food and this food is utilized by the animals. That's why this process of photosynthesis is important for everybody. Now, our today's topic is mechanism of photosynthesis. This is new for you because till now we have read about the definition of photosynthesis and generally the things that is required for the photosynthesis. Okay, but today we will see the mechanism, that is what are the steps by which the photosynthesis can occur. Now children, as we all know that this photosynthesis occurs in leaves. Why in leaves? Because leaves are green in color. And why these leaves are green in color? Because they contain a pigment called as chlorophyll. Now what is the use of this chlorophyll? This chlorophyll is able to trap the sunlight and it is able to convert that sunlight into some energy, and that energy is utilized for the process of the photosynthesis. So all these green leaves, they are responsible for the process of photosynthesis. Now, where these chlorophylls are found inside the leaves, we all have read about the structure of the leaf. That is, the outermost layer of the leaf is waxy and it is called as the cuticle. Even we can write down it as a waxy cuticle. Then we all have seen that the upper layer of the leaf is called as the epidermis. This we have read. Then we have read that this layer is called as the palisade layer and this is called as the spongy mesophyll cells. And the whole together is named as mesophyll cells. Then we come to the lower part, that is called as the lower epidermis. Okay, and as usual, stomata. This we all have already read. Now multiple spaces are there. Okay, this also we have completed or read. That is, if whenever the food will be prepared, it will be stored. That's why we need the space inside the leaves. So these are the places of the to store the food in the form of starch. Now see children. Now this mesophyll cells, they contain chlorophyll, and that's why we can say that the sunlight will be captured in the mesophyll cells. During the daytime, these leaves, they are in the erect condition. When the sunlight falls, the sunlight directly reaches here and all it contains the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll will capture the sunlight. This sunlight along with carbon dioxide and water will synthesize the glucose, and that is the complete process of the photosynthesis. Now, how these steps occur, this we will see in case of mechanism. Basically, when we start the photosynthesis, we see that we can complete the photosynthesis in 2 steps. Okay, number 1 is light phase. Light phase, that is, the photosynthesis can occur in 2 phases, light phase as well as the dark phase. Okay, light phase is also named as light dependent. Okay, or it is also called as Hill's reaction. Now we will see this later on, that what are the names of the dark phase. Okay, we will see that it is also called as the light dependent. It is also called as the Melvin-Kelvin cycle, biosynthetic phase. Everything we will do in after the completion of this. Okay. Now see, what happens in case of light phase, also called as light dependent reaction, or it is also called as photochemical reaction or Hill's reaction. Okay. Now see children, why we have given so many names to this phase? Reason. Because it requires light, and that's why we can call it as a light dependent reaction. First point. Second point, this is discovered by the scientist Hill. That's why we can call it as a Hill's reaction. And then it is also called as a photochemical reaction. Now, meaning of photochemical. The plants capture the sunlight and then they convert it into the chemical energy, and finally that helps in the process of the photosynthesis. So, photochemical, capturing of the sunlight and converting them into the chemical energy, and then to utilize in the process of the photosynthesis. That's why this light phase has also got its name, light reaction, light phase photochemical reaction. Now see, we have some steps in case of this photochemical reaction. Okay, now I am writing step number 1. Step 1. Now see, the step number 1 is activation of chlorophyll. Activation of chlorophyll. Okay. Now see, what happens in case of activation of chlorophyll? This light initiates the chlorophyll. We all know that the position of the chlorophyll is present inside the thylakoid. So number 1 step that we can write, that is, this light phase occurs in thylakoid. Okay. Why it occurs in the thylakoid? Because it is the activation of the chlorophyll. So what happens in this case, children? Activation of chlorophyll. As soon as the sunlight will fall on the leaves, it will directly go to the thylakoid, and inside the thylakoid chlorophylls are there. Now these chlorophyll will get activated. They will get activated and they will absorb the sunlight. So this is our first step, that is sunlight fall on leaves, or we can say that chlorophyll, and chlorophyll will become activate. If once it will become activate, it will absorb sunlight. And this is called as light reaction. This is the main purpose of the light reaction. That is, we need sunlight. And how we got the sunlight? We got the sunlight by the capturing of them with the help of the chlorophyll. So this is the importance of the chlorophyll also. Now children, then we come to the second step, and your second step is photolysis of water. Step number 2 is photolysis of water. Okay, now see what happens in this case. Whenever the light will be absorbed by the chlorophyll, then this light will be utilized in breaking of the water molecule. Now, with the help of sunlight, the water molecule will break, and this is called as photolysis. See, the meaning of photo is light, And the meaning of lysis is breaking down. So, what is the meaning? Breaking down of water with the help of light. So, our first step was absorption of the light, and that absorption was done with the help of the chlorophyll. Now, what that light will do? That light will break your water molecule. Clear? And this is called as photolysis of water. Now, two steps are clear. Okay. Now, what will be the reaction of this? The reaction will be two molecule of water. It will break down to form H plus ions as well as oxygen, and 4 electron will be released. What we can say that, children? One molecule of water is sufficient to convert into 2 excited electron, 2 activated electron. So here, one molecule of water is able to dissociate into 2H plus ion as well as the 2 electron. And now here we have 2 molecule of water, and that's why the 2 molecule of water, the reaction will be like this. It will give rise 4 hydrogen ion as well as the 4 electron. So this is our second step. And one more point is required here, that is manganese will help. Okay, that everything will occur in the presence of the manganese as well as because we have taken the sunlight. So this is step number 2. Okay, now see what things has happened. Number 1, our chlorophyll has become activated by absorbing the sunlight. The chlorophyll has absorbed the sunlight, and now this sunlight is required for the photolysis of the water. Now sunlight has broken the water molecule into H plus ions and released energy in the form of electrons. Now we need these two things, and this oxygen will be come out as a byproduct. Okay, so we need these two things. Now for these two things we have step number 3. So let me write step 3. Now step number 3. Step number 3 is formation of ATP from ADP. Okay, this is our third step, children. Now see, what is the meaning of ADP and ATP? ADP means adenosine diphosphate. Okay, and ATP is adenosine triphosphate. And this is the unit of energy. We all know that. We need this ATP so that we can prepare the food. We means plants. Okay, so plants need ATP just for the preparation of the food. Now, right now, in the plants, this energy is present in its inactive form. Okay, and the inactive form is ADP. We have to convert this ADP into ATP. Clear? So, how the conversion will done? For this reason only, the photolysis of water has been done. Okay, now see what has happened in the step number 2. In the step number 2, there was a photolysis of water. Means there was the breaking down of water molecule into H plus ions plus 4 electrons. Now these 4 electrons are activated energy. Whenever the molecules break down, then these molecules release energy. This is a common pattern. Whenever the molecules or the compounds they break down, then they release tremendous amount of energy. Okay. So what will happen during the photolysis of the water? The water molecule has broken down, and if the water molecule has broken down, definitely this is going to release the energy. Now this energy is utilized in the conversion of ADP into ATP. Understood? See, what will be the reaction? The reaction will be adenosine diphosphate. It will take one inorganic molecule, that is one more phosphate ion, and with the help of energy released by the photolysis of water, that is in the form of electrons, this will be added. One phosphate ion will be added to the diphosphate and it will become triphosphate. Understood? Now it is diphosphate, 2-phosphate, and with the help of the energy released during the process of the photolysis of water, one more phosphate ion will be added to this and it will become triphosphate, and this is called as adenosine triphosphate. And this process is named as phosphorylation. This can also be called as photophosphorylation. Now see children, why it is called as photophosphorylation? Because everything has occurred in the presence of sunlight. The energy which is released by the sunlight, that is utilized in the conversion of diphosphate into triphosphate, and that's why it can also be called as the photophosphorylation or phosphorylation. Okay, now 3 steps are clear. Then we come to the 4th step. If you remember children, that in the step number 1, we have seen that 2 molecules of water breaks down and then it has released 4 hydrogen atoms. Clear? And electrons. Now electrons has been used for the conversion of ADP into ATP. Now what will happen to that 4H plus ions? Again I am writing the same equation. What we have seen in the step number 1, that is it get converted into 4H plus 4 electron plus, either you can write down 2 atom or I am writing it into the 1 molecule of oxygen, and this will be released. Now this is already used. Where it is used? It is used in the process of the phosphorylation for the conversion of diphosphate into the triphosphate. Now we have this thing. What we will do with this? This will be utilized in the next step, that is called as our step number 4. Okay. Now what happens in the step number 4? Step number 4 is formation of NADPH. Okay, formation of NADPH. Now this is called as nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Okay, right now we have NADP, nicotinamide adenine diphosphate. Okay, right now we have this. We want to convert this into NADPH. Okay, so what we can say that in the 4th step, this NADP will be converted into NADPH. Now from where the hydrogen has come? From the step number 1. Okay. So from here the hydrogen will be added to this place and it will get converted into NADPH. Clear? Now this is known as reduced. NADP will reduce to form NADPH. Okay. Now what things we have got till now? We have seen the chlorophyll, Okay. We saw that the chlorophyll has become activated, which is present in the thylakoid. After that, this activated chlorophyll has done photolysis of water, that is breaking down of the water molecule. Two things are done, and for this process we need the mineral in the form of manganese, and that's why Mn2+ is also important for the reaction. After photolysis, what we got? We got hydrogen ion as well as the electron in the form of activated energy. That electron is utilized for the process of photophosphorylation. That is for the conversion of ADP into ATP. So, we have stored one energy. Clear? After that, the H+ ion that was released, it is again used in the conversion of NADP into NADPH. So, as a product, we got NADPH as well as the ATP. Okay, now all these things we have used. But still CO2 is left for the process of photosynthesis. Clear? Because whenever we are going to prepare the glucose, how we can prepare the glucose without the carbon dioxide? We need C6H12O6, and without the C, how we will prepare the C6H12O6? So we need CO2. So this CO2 will come in the next step, and that step is called as the dark phase, dark reaction, Melvin-Kelvin cycle, or it is also called as light independent reaction. Okay, so this dark reaction we will see in the next class. Thank you.